Welcome back, everyone. So I bet people remember my video on how Christianity is compatible with evolution, and it got good reviews. I left the link in the description if you haven't seen it, and recently that video of mine got intertwined with an adversary. So my pal here on YouTube, Latvian Dragon, recommended that I check out Underlings, and much like many skeptic YouTubers, he mostly focuses his videos as showing that evolution is proof that Christianity isn't real, along with other usual topics. But in this video, I will focus on evolution because Mr. Underlings actually saw my video on theistic evolution and sent me an email with both appraisal and criticism. I thought it would be good after he openly stated that he likes how theistic evolutionists don't deny science, but then he states that these are just liberal Christians who are, quote, buffeting Christianity. So here's how I'm going to respond to that claim. I can guarantee that Underlings has no idea what being a Christian is about. The three main denominational churches do not practice Christianity the way they're supposed to. Being a Christian is not about bashing science or punishing sinners. Being a Christian is about being humble and kind, as that is what God commands in the New Testament. Those militant members of the Westboro Baptist Church are not real Christians. They're not supposed to be hateful or force their religion on others. You can easily see an example of that command in Luke 6:35. Love your enemies and do good and lend and expect nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High. It is also commanded in the New Testament to not force your religion on others. One example of that is in the Gospel of Titus chapter 3 verses 1 to 2. Remind people to be subject to rulers and authorities, to be obedient, to do whatever is good, to slander no one, to be peaceful and considerate, and to show true humility to all men. It is continued in verses 9 to 10, but avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and arguments and quarrels about the law, because these are unprofitable and useless. Warn a divisive person once, and then warn him a second time. After that, have nothing to do with them.
Be polite.
And regarding to a Christian's relationship with science, well, just as I said in my previous videos, and how Underlings wrote in his email himself, how the laws of the universe work in the Bible are written in metaphors. The Christian faith guides how you as a person will connect to God on a spiritual level. A Christian is supposed to treat science the same way a secular person would. I am 200% certain that Mr. Underlings here doesn't know any of this. There are no liberal Christians or literal Christians as he called them. There's just Christianity, and if people don't follow it the way it's supposed to be, then that's not the ailment of the faith. But now I'd like to turn my attention to the last point he makes as to how Christians have no proof for the religion. Well, let me put it like this. Some atheists try to use the Big Bang as an argument against Christianity, when in fact the Big Bang theory was brought up by George Lemaitre, a Catholic priest, and ironically atheists rejected his claim because they thought it correlated Christian views of the origins of the universe.
There's a perception that religion and science go together about as well as mayonnaise and marshmallows. In some instances this is perhaps true, but on a typically warm Southern California January in 1933 at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena, California, the same place and time that Jack Parsons of rocket science fame was doing his experiments, history intersecting right there, religion and science proved that these two ideals didn't have to be enemies. At that time, some of the greatest science luminaries from around the world, Edwin Hubble and Albert Einstein to name two, gathered to hear a series of lectures. But it was one man and one lecture that caused Albert Einstein to declare, "This is the most beautiful and satisfactory explanation of creation to which I ever listened." It is well known that on the eve of the Third Reich's rise, Einstein left his homeland of Germany for the United States. But few know that traveling with him was Belgian Catholic priest Georges Lemaitre, a man that Einstein greatly respected. Georges Lemaitre was a religious man, but also a great scientist himself, a cosmologist in fact. He studied the universe and most notably its beginnings. His research, beliefs, and conclusions greatly influenced the way we understand our very existence today. This is what would become known later as the Big Bang Theory, after several other scientists would add to Lemaitre's theory. Many skeptics at the time did not agree with this origin theory. They believed that Lemaitre's religious background clouded his scientific process. Essentially, what Lemaitre was claiming, according to his critics, was that something somehow had to have created the primeval atom, leaving open the possibility of a greater being. In fact, Pope Pius XII proclaimed in 1952 that the Big Bang theory affirmed the notion of a transcendental creator. This, therefore, meant it was in harmony with Catholic dogma.
Today, atheists are saying that this universe was formed by another one, and it's just a piece of an infinite string of universes. Now, my point is that if an atheist is going to assert that the universe didn't come into existence by creationist force, but rather an infinite number of universes, they kind of need to prove that too. And they seldom even try to do that. A claim, whether it's positive or negative, will require proof, and that's in all fields. It's universal. It's not just when talking about the existence of God. If I shouldn't be a Christian because there is no proof, by default, atheists shouldn't believe in an infinite number of universes because we have absolutely no proof that an infinite number of universes exist either. The same can be said for the assertion that God doesn't exist. So Underlings is just one example of what many skeptic YouTubers are like, but their flaws are all the same, and that is how you can pick their arguments apart. They all have just one common denominator. Many people don't like religion because they don't like religious scriptures, but if they're going to criticize it, they need to criticize the true meaning of it, not how a certain group of people portray it. This is indeed one of the reasons why I don't like the skeptic community, and naturally, there are all other faults in Underlings' arguments, but that's a video for another time.